So I'm going to teach you how to do something that I don't know how to do, so this is going to be great. We're going to do comparative data. So you are talking about, man, it's amazing how much bigger people have gotten in the last couple decades. And your friend says, what? People are the same size. What are you talking about? And you get in an argument and you say, okay, fine, I'll prove it. So you being the nerdy nerd you are and the Excel wizard that you are, you're like, I'm going to prove it to you. So you jump in and you go to this website. It's a 1970 Nebraska football roster. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the players on this. Man, there's a lot of pop-ups. No, Joel Klatt, I don't want to listen to you talk. Get out of here, pop-up. Get out of here, pop-up. I'm going to click up in the top left corner, and I'm just going to go all the way down and copy. Looks like we're copying a little more than what I want. There we go. I've got to make sure I'm not getting the side advertisements. I'm going to hit Command-C, which is copy, Command-C. So this is 1970. Then I'm going to go over to my Microsoft Office account. So again, you should have watched the first video. Go to office.com. Make sure you log in with your stjohnbc.net account, the @ for your password, and then the rest of your typical St. John password. And I'm going to go into Create and then Workbook. And in this first workbook, I'm going to go to cell A1 and Command-V is going to paste all of my data. And it's going to paste all of my data. Let's try again. Go back over here, and I'm going to two-finger click and go to copy. Maybe I had to have the page open first. A1 and Command-V to paste. There we go. Okay, and I don't need this garbage in the first 3 rows, so I'm going to two-finger click and I'm going to delete. Depending on how you copied, you may have done a better job than I did not have to do that. So this has tons of information that we don't need. Height, it actually gives me a date. Weight, year, city, state, school. We don't need all this. It's more information than we need. So I'm actually going to delete the year. I'm going to click on the letter and drag it all the way over. And I'm going to two-finger click, and I'm going to go to delete columns F through I. Same thing with the height. We're just going to look at the weight because for simplicity's sake, you can prove your point just with the weight. Don't need the number, and actually we don't even need the name, but we're going to keep the name for now. Not sure why Frosty Anderson or John Adkins have a link, but that's all right. So that is step 1. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to sheet 1. I'm going to name it 1970. And I'm going to click the plus button down there to get a new sheet. And guess what? We're going to hit 2024. That's the other link that I have in the classroom. So I could just click this link, or if you're super sneaky, you can learn that sometimes adjusting the URL will get you what you want. So this says 1970 roster. If I had to guess, I'd say 2024 and hit enter will get me the 2024 roster. Sure enough, look at that. So what I'm going to do next is same thing I did with the previous, and as soon as my mouse starts working again, it's got too many pop-ups coming up. Joel Klatt, I'm not going to listen to you again. Come on, come on. Goodbye. And goodbye, Vistaprint. And we're going to select, gosh, got a little more than I wanted to again, but that's all right. I'll just have to delete the top couple of rows. Nothing hurt though. So I'm going to select all the way down. Man, we've got a lot more players than we used to. Look at that. 99. And we're going to do a Command-C. And I'm going to switch screens and Command-V to paste. And again, I've got more information than I want, so I'm going to highlight on the numbers, two-finger click, and go to delete rows 1 through 3. Also don't need to know the school, the state, the city, or the year. So I'm going to click on those, two-finger click up on the letters, and go to delete columns. Delete the height, delete the number, and then I do want to actually have this spaced out a little better. Right now I have a really big, really tall cell, so the secret, if I just go up in between the A and the B, I have a double-sided arrow. I'm going to click on that, and it'll automatically resize it to fit the biggest name, or at least it did in the old Excel. Since it's not going to do that, I'll do it manually and just drag it over. And Isaiah Garcia has a really long last name, so we're going to drag it out to fit him. Okay, so now I have a comparison. That's great. But the issue is there are 99 people in 2024 and there are 86 in 1970. One thing that I can do is get the average of all the players, but that's an easy assignment. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do first is we're going to sort the information. So I'm going to click somewhere in this cell and hit Command A. That's going to highlight all of my data. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Data and Sort. And I'm going to do a custom sort. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sort by column. First thing I'm going to sort by is the position, which is column B. It may give you the name. If I click my data has headers, it's going to sort by, and it'll actually tell me, sort by position. If I unclick that, then it'll just sort by the column. Since my data has headers, I don't want position lined up in the middle of all of my information. I am going to click that my data has headers, and I'm going to sort by position first, and then I'm going to click Add, and I'm going to put in another rule, because after that it's just going to be random. Then I'm going to sort by the biggest. So my data still has headers, and I'm going to sort by weight. Sort ascending, so it'll be the smallest first. So position first will be alphabetized, and then by the smallest to the biggest. So I'm going to click OK, and voila. Now I have all of my centers, the people who snapped the ball first, and their weight from the smallest to the biggest. They have one cornerback, not sure why that is, and going all the way down, all of them sorted by position, smallest to the biggest. Pretty cool. Fast way to go through a lot of data. Again, I'm going to go to my 2024, Command A, selects all the data. I'm going to go to Sort, Custom Sort, and I'm going to sort by my data's headers again, sort by position. I'm going to add a rule, and I'm going to sort by weight, and click OK. Again, all lined up real nicely. Now this is where it's going to get just a tiny bit tricky, and I don't want to confuse you, but coaches over time call different positions different things, which is super confusing. You don't really need to know that for this assignment, other than we're going to delete a whole bunch of this data. Some coaches call running backs, others call them halfbacks. And so comparing apples to apples is going to be a little bit tricky. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is look through the list and look for titles that are the same. So I guarantee you both have quarterbacks, or QB. So right here, quarterback. I actually have some pretty good sized quarterbacks back then, 181 to 215 pounds. If I look for quarterback here, alphabetized, they're not too far off, 195 to 230 pounds, a little bit bigger. And so I'm going to look for the same categories, and I'd like you to pick 4 for a good analysis. And I might, depending on how this shakes out, I might tell you which ones to keep. In fact, looking this over, might be hard to find a few. Linebacker, kicker, defensive line. Okay. So here's the first one we're going to do. I'm going to click and delete my first few. Defensive end, defensive tackle, those are all going to be my defensive line, or in 2024 they just call them DL for defensive line. So what I'm going to do here is at the end of the defense, I'm going to hit Insert, and I'm going to insert a row above. And I'm going to actually do that a few times. Insert, row above. I'm going to do it one more time. Insert, row above. So these are all my defensive linemen. And Dan Malone actually doesn't weigh anything. He's an anomaly. Don't know why he doesn't have a weight in there, but I'm going to delete him also. Going into 2024 then, I'm going to look for all of my defensive linemen. These are defensive backs. That's not a defensive lineman. DL. Yep. I'm going to look real quick and make sure we don't have cornerback safeties or safeties. That's going to be too confusing. In 2024, we're going to delete all of the defensive backs. So, wowzers, there's a boatload of, look at all those guys. All these guys are guarding the wide receivers from 33 on up. Anybody that says DB in the position, I'm going to two-finger click and say be gone with you and delete them. I am going to go to the DL then, and I'm going to go to Insert, one row above, Insert, one row above, and I did it 3 times on the other side. I'm going to do it 3 times here also, Insert, one row above. So here I'm not going to worry about it. In position, I'm going to put AV. We're going to find what the average is, equals, and I can type in AVE, and it tells me here is my formula, and it's actually going to fill it in for me. It has a pretty good idea what I want, equals C2. So if I look at column C, and I go down to here, C2, from Jordan Ochoa's weight all the way down to C22, that's perfect. I'm going to click on that and hit enter. The average weight of a defensive lineman for Nebraska in 2024 is 274 pounds. I'm going to go into 1970, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go AV in the position, and I'm going to go equals AV, AVE, and it's going to autofill for me because it's brilliant like that. Average lineman in 1970 on the defense was 220 pounds. So we went from 220 pounds to 274. Average increase of 54 pounds. Oh, baby. That's decisive. We have a bunch of linebackers, offensive linemen, running backs. All right, so let's see what's sort of similar on this side. They have fullbacks and halfbacks. That's about the same as a running back. We're going to say goodbye to Rex. Goodbye, Rex. And I'm going to keep the fullbacks and the halfbacks because that's relatively consistent with running backs, although fullbacks are supposed to be the big guys. We're going to insert another row above and insert a third row above. We're going to type in AV, and we're going to put in equals AVE. And man, Excel is smart. Automatically fills in. Average size was 198 pounds. Those are big boys. Now, fullbacks were intended to be bigger. It's a different position than a running back, so this might skew our results a little bit. Let's check it out, because 190, those are big boys. Running backs and offensive linemen. Gosh. We'll try it. We're going to delete. Now we're going to insert a row here. Trent Euler's a Battle Creek boy. Insert, one row above. Insert, one row above. And insert, one row above. And I'm going to do the same thing right here, just that way Excel knows where my break is. Insert one row above, insert one row above, insert one row above. And I'm going to go AV, and then equals AVE, and Excel's brilliant, fills in. Average is 202 pounds in 1970. Average was 198. So even with the fullbacks, the biggest boys that would carry the ball, we don't really have fullbacks anymore. Average is 198 pounds. We can see if we have any fullbacks in the list here, because that might even things out a bit. But generally, we don't have fullbacks in much of football. We do have 2 fullbacks, so to be consistent, we can add these guys in. So I'm going to hit Command X and copy these guys. I'm going to paste them in here. That means I got to change my formula to go from C88 to C86. Now we included these 2 guys also, and I brought my average up just a wee bit. So this is the general idea of what you're going to do. I want you to find 3 different positions to compare. Right now we have defensive linemen. We did that already. We have running backs. If you want to do more, like I am kind of curious. That's just me. Offensive linemen would be interesting because they're the biggest, and that would be offensive guard and offensive tackle. That would be the comparison there. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to check back with you in the next video, and the next video I'll show you the next step. So you have an idea how to compare these. I'd like you to choose a total of 3. We've done 2, so 1 on your own, and then check back for the next video for the next step, because we're not quite done. We're going to have the next sheet is going to actually compare our data, and that way you can have decisive information, say, kapow, look at this one sheet. I was right. It's no big deal.